So someone was asking me about their horse who had been taught by a mare how to be clingy and nappy and snorty when they got separated. This was the second horse that had done this, and the first horse had become quite dangerous with its behaviour and now wasn't being ridden anymore. This other horse had picked up the same behaviour. The mare had managed to induce the same behaviour and started exhibiting the same conditions, but it wasn't dangerous. However, the rider had lost their nerve on the first horse and now we're losing their nerve on the second horse. Now get this right, this isn't about a dangerous horse. This is about a horse exhibiting some behaviour that needed to be sorted out, and you need to get on the horse and sort it out according to what your instructor's saying. But you haven't got the confidence to do it. So every time you're approaching the horse is snorting and calling to the mare who's still up in the paddock, and you just need to get on it. When you come to a sticking point where you're just a bit frightened, and then your confidence is going and it becomes an ever decreasing circle, that's the time when you need to stop, recenter yourself and re-find the joy in what you're doing. Now, finding the joy sounds a bit weird. I've been speaking to someone recently who had a fear of rats, which we got over, and is currently working through a fear of bridges. And I was saying that you need to find the joy in bridges. When I first said it, it seemed really weird, but then I was driving back home from London and I went under a bridge and there was a 6-year-old kid with his dad. I could only see the silhouettes because the sun was behind. And this kid was just running round and round and round, clearly super excited to be looking out over the bridge at all the lorries and waving and then running round and round. There's the joy in bridges. So where can we find the joy in this behaviour of these horses? Especially when you get a little bit nervous because of a past history, then you go home and your other half's going, you're going to kill yourself on that bloody horse. You don't bounce like you used to. You don't heel like you used to. Is it really worth it? Are you being responsible? You're not getting any younger. And then you go down the yard and you've got Queen Bee there. She doesn't get on her horse an awful lot, but she leans on the fence and tells you what you're doing wrong, saying things like, well, when the household cavalry used to get me in to fix their horses, we used to call those ones the absolutely nutters or something like that, or whatever. Then you speak to your friend who's nervous of their horses, and they're saying, well, it is scary. You've got to remember, I looked on Google and there was a study that said it's the most dangerous hobby that you can do, ignoring the fact that there's also a study to say that you can eat sunlight instead of food. All these influences, plus everybody on Facebook saying that they remember this report. They can't quite remember the details, but there was a woman in 1973 whose head came off in Patagonia when her horse jumped at a bin. Where's the joy going to be found? You've got to stop and seriously think, right, if I'm going to get over this fear and get my confidence back in this situation, stop, find the joy. So I was thinking about this particular case and I thought, where in my experience have I found joy in a situation like that? And I was reminded of a time. So there was a time when I first started riding horses and we had a film to do, and they got all the horses off these lorries, and the last horse to come off, the lorry it was a stallion, it was screaming, the lorry was shaking, everyone was waiting for this horse to come off, and it came off, pulling the person who was leading it, pulling the handler down the ramp, leaping out, running around in a mad circle, screaming, throwing its head in the air, round and round and round. And fortunately, the horsemaster didn't say that was my one. He said to the guy next to me, that's your one. And the guy next to me was white, and he started to go up. I don't know what kind of horse rider you think I am, but up. And anyway, told to get on this horse, and he got on the horse, and the second he got on it, horse was perfect. Wow. Years later, I remembered that when I took delivery of a stallion, and it came off the box in exactly the same way. And I remembered that and I thought, I think I know the answer to this one. So, as before, zooming round, tra-la-la-la, after a few days it hadn't calmed down, and we said, right, okay, it's got used to its environment, we've done all the bite sizes that we can do, I believe it's going to be fine. We'd already walked it in hand, I knew it was going to be fine, but it's still displaying all these behaviours. Anyway, that was the time to take a deep breath and get on. I knew it was going to be fine. I was just nervous in exactly the same way that I've been describing to this case. Got on and horse was automatically on the bit, waiting to go. Brilliant. From then on, I had a secret little joy when we went to a show or something and this screaming stallion would get off the box. I'd get it tacked up as quick as possible. And I was a bit showy-offy about it. That everyone was like, woo, and I knew it was fine. And I'd jump on and absolutely fine. I looked good, but I wasn't doing anything brave. There was my joy. It actually became a joy, a little bit vain, probably coming over as a bit of an arsehole in this video. Sorry to be vain, sorry to use that, but it did use it. If I can get anything and use it, and if I'm coming across as a bit of an idiot, I don't care. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you at all. This is still my message. Which brings me to the last point, other people's opinions. Other people's opinions. There we are, I've said my truth. If I've come across less than I want, nothing to do with you, nothing to do with you at all. So try to take that attitude, apply it to the people around you, find the joy in the situation that you want to overcome, and then it will become easy to work backwards from that joyous moment when you finally jump the jump, when you finally get on the horse and look really cool, when you finally get into your canter, when you finally go across the bridge. There are joyous moments in there. Once you've found the joy, the path to that goal will be easy. I hope this has been useful. Apply it perhaps to some of your situations. I'm Carl Greenwood. I've made a download that is freely available on the internet. Click the link and it addresses bolting, bucking and rearing, which are the three main issues of horse riders. So click the link, that'll be winging its way to you over the internet. I hope this has been fun for you. It's certainly been fun for me. Thanks for listening. Click the link.